Alright, here we are with some Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. As I said last week, I was planning on uploading Marvel vs. Capcom 1, but unfortunately that didn't work, so here we are with MVCI. This may be blasphemous, but I am not the biggest MVC3 fan. Yeah, you kill me for saying this, I guess, but I never ever liked the way MVC3 feels. Not to mention it has absolutely unplayable netcode, right? But the way MVC3 feels has always been, I don't like it. Like, the best way for me to describe it is it's like you're walking with chess pieces, right? And I know that sounds weird, but that's literally how I always felt about the game. It's like you're walking with chess pieces, and you have predetermined spots that you move to. Like, you move in giant... It's so weird. It's hard for me to explain it, man. You move in, like, giant steps. It's so weird. I just don't like the way you move in that game. Also, that super armor, though. You love to see it. But yeah, this game is probably... This game probably has the saddest fate I've ever seen for a game. It's really tragic what happened to this game, because this game is so good. It's just so tragic, man. Obviously, by looking at it right, it doesn't look that good. It doesn't, right? However, it doesn't look that much worse than Street Fighter V, I'm gonna be honest. At least, like when this game came out. It really doesn't look that much worse. Although I will admit, it does look worse than Street Fighter V, but it's not like some crazy thing. Obviously, the music in this game is non-existent, right? This game has almost no... This game doesn't have music. You just can ignore it. It sounds like generic Marvel movie music. That's what it sounds like. And obviously music is a big part of Marvel vs. Capcom, and they just took it out of this game. So, wonderful. This game also has one of the worst rosters I've ever seen in a fighting game. Which is tragic because the DLC characters, which I'm using right now, are genuinely some of the most unique DLC characters in a Marvel... No, they're some of the most unique characters in a Marvel vs. Capcom game, right? The DLC characters in this game are Sigma from Mega Man, right? Venom, what you're seeing here. Monster Hunter, which is it's such a unique idea and it's so sick. Black Panther, which is really cool. Winter Soldier, also really cool. And I'm missing Black Widow. I believe that's it. That's all this game ever got. I think I can echo for everybody. Even if you like Street Fighter V, I feel like this game deserved to have a life like Street Fighter V had. It really did. Because honestly, yeah, the game sucks, right? I mean, the story mode is bad. But look, people are playing fighting games nowadays, and they don't even have story modes, right? And people are just okay with it. Like, I really don't understand. I just don't... I mean, I wasn't really a fighting game player when this came out, right? So I don't understand why this game didn't succeed. Because, number one, it did succeed. It sold more copies than guiltygearstrive did, and that's arguably the #1 fighting game right now. But it got, like, 6 DLC characters, and then that was it. I just don't understand why this game failed, because, yes, is it worse than Marvel vs. Capcom 3 in almost every single way? It is. But it's not! Like, that's the thing. It's really not. Yes, the music is worse and it looks worse. Everything about the presentation looks worse, right? But if you're talking about the casual player, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 doesn't have a story mode. It doesn't. So what's the big idea here? I don't understand the whole... Yeah, I never understood why this game failed. Because this game actually has more stuff in it than Street Fighter V did at launch. And Street Fighter V made it, and it recovered. This game never recovered. This game literally was, like, not even like an opinion-based thing. This game was a better game than Street Fighter V was at launch. And it was thrown away. I don't know if that's because of Capcom or if that's because of Marvel. But that's what happened. And it's really sad because this game is so sick, as you're seeing. Like, it's just so sick. And yes, the roster was very controversial. If you don't know, there were no X-Men in the game at all. And the X-Men literally made Marvel what it is. Like, this game wouldn't exist if the X-Men didn't exist. So no Wolverine, no Deadpool, no Cable, literally no one. No Phoenix. Absolutely no one. No Gambit. Not a single X-Men made it. Which obviously, that's a big deal. No Wolverine. Like, maybe you can excuse, like, no Magneto, right? I feel like you can excuse the other X-Men not being in it, but Wolverine and Magneto not being in the game is an absolute crime. Absolute crime. So, yeah. But we got characters like Ultron, which is really unique, right? And I'm not gonna lie, for me personally, okay, I know this is gonna ruffle some feathers. Was the Marvel side missing characters? It was. It absolutely was. But I think the Capcom side was more disappointing than the Marvel side. I think the Capcom side did the game more dirty, personally. Why? Because the Capcom side had Arthur. Who else did it have? It had Arthur. It had DMC5 or DMC3 Dante again. I think everyone would have preferred DMC4 Dante at this point. Arthur. Who else does this game have I just had them flash? Oh, Chris. Yeah, the game had Chris. What are we doing? Again? Like, no. The game should have had Jill or Leon. Easily. But no, we had Chris again, DMC3 Dante again, Arthur. I'm sure if Morgan missed, no one would have complained because Jeddah was in the game. And I think Jeddah's way more interesting than Morgan is. Yeah, I think the Capcom side was more disappointing than the Marvel side. Although, the Marvel side was disappointing as well. Like, why was Hawkeye in the game, right? They put Thanos in the game because Infinity War, the movie, was coming out, like, almost at the same time this game did. I think it was a few months apart. So they put Thanos in the game. Fair enough. He's really cool in this game, too. He's not, like, a disappointing character. He is a very welcome addition. But they kept characters like Hawkeye in. Personally, I would have liked to see Ant-Man, right? Just more interesting Marvel characters. Black Panther was a DLC, right? He wasn't even really in the game, technically. Even though Wakanda was in the game. Wakanda is a stage in the game. And Black Panther is in the story mode. But he was DLC that came out months later. Yeah, I didn't agree with that. And Monster Hunter was also in the story mode as well, but she came out as DLC later. It's just a part of Capcom was very scummy at this time. This game was unfortunately a part of their downfall, and unfortunately it came out right before their uprising, so that's tragic. But yeah, I never really talked about this. This is my first time talking about this game on the channel, actually. And it always really bothered me, because this game, yes. Is it disappointing? Yes. But what these reviewers and these casuals are calling good fighting games, right? It has the same stuff that this game had, right? For example, people praising dnfduel, right? Yes, the game looks way better. That's not even a question. And the game has better music. But this game has a bigger roster and a story mode, right? The story mode matters a lot for casuals. dnfduel didn't have a story mode. It had like a 30-minute character thing where the cutscenes weren't even animated, right? And it like, I just don't understand, because and games like Grand Blue was the same as this game, right? It had a story mode though. The problem is it looks so much better. But this game had like triple the size of the roster or something. Like, and these games got passes. These games were called good by reviewers and stuff like that. Although it's the same problem, right? Dragonballfighterz. The game that I played over this, I chose Dragonballfighterz over this, and it was my first fighting game that I really played, and it was the first fighting game that I genuinely enjoyed. Well, that's cap. I enjoyed a lot of fighting games before that, but it was the first fighting game that I actually got good at. Yes, the music was so much better, even though I think Dragonballfighterz music is the worst out of all the ArcSys games when it comes to their music. But the music was better, and the graphics were obviously better. But I really, truly believe that it had a worse story mode. Let's not joke here. The Marvel story mode was really bad and really, like, awkward. But the Dragonballfighterz story mode was genuinely some of the most boring stuff I've ever played in my life. And I bought that game as a casual that loved Dragon Ball. And it took me months to beat it. It took me like 6 months to beat the story mode or something. Because I just couldn't do it. Yeah. And that game had no content besides that. Story mode, it had like 20 characters at launch, 22 characters at launch. It was the same thing. It was the same problem. It just looked so much better, right? So why did this game not get the pass, but every other fighting game to this day gets the pass? Right? I don't understand. I'm not saying that this game should have gotten a pass. I do want to say this, but I'm saying that there's a lot of fighting games nowadays that get the pass for the same stuff this game got flamed for. That's all I'm saying. Because a lot of casuals really hype up games like Guiltygear, stuff like that. And while I do play I literally play all of these games, and I like all of these games, right? Guiltygear had 16 characters at launch and a story mode that you literally couldn't even play. It was a 4-hour cutscene. It was just a movie. So, and these games all got passes. This game never had a chance to redeem itself like Street Fighter V did. Because if this game redeemed itself like Street Fighter V did, we would still be playing it. Everyone would still be playing it. But no, it was left in the dust. And what are the consequences of it being left in the dust? There may never be another Marvel vs. Capcom game. That's the consequences. That's the worst part. Is that because of the way Marvel works now, it genuinely feels like this could have been the last chance ever, because I know everything about Marvel changed. So there just might not be another chance. So this is what we got, and this is it. And there's some genuinely good stuff about this game, aka the gameplay, and I like the roster. The roster additions are great. It's just that the characters they kept from the last game were a really dumb choice. But the people they added were pretty cool. Anyways, like and subscribe. We have a video tomorrow. I just wanted to talk about this game because I never talked about this game, and this is a good game in my eyes. So yeah, peace.